This is Sygg River Guide for 1 white and 1 blue. He's a Merfolk wizard with Island Walk, and for 1 colorless and 1 white, target Merfolk you control gains protection from the color of your choice until end of turn. He's a 2/2. The reason I chose Sygg as the commander of this deck is because he was actually the first legendary creature I ever got. My parents went to a resale shop and came home with a Ziploc bag full of cards, and among them was this weird Merfolk creature that I thought was just so cool looking. I remember looking up videos and coming across a Tolarian Community College video, and next thing I knew, I was putting together a Sygg deck. This deck is actually my first attempt at rebuilding that deck in a way that makes more sense now. The initial deck that I created was about life gain and just really didn't synergize the way that I wanted it to, but this one is way more focused and way more deadly. Alright, let's go over some info about this Sygg deck. When you're mulliganing, you want at least 2 to 3 lands, you want at least 1 ramp piece, you want 1 Voltron piece like Shadow Spear, Duelist's Heritage, or Blackblade Reforged. And if you can't hit these categories, you're going to want to mulligan. This deck wants a really fast start. For our early game, you're going to want to develop your mana base and get those rocks out really early. Play cheap Merfolk or Tribal engines to set up your backup plan. Land some cheap equipment if you can. And avoid casting Sygg too early unless you have protection up for him. Let's talk mid-game. This is when you're going to want to cast Sygg, and it's most important to keep protection up for him. Once he's out, start suiting Sygg up with equipment and buffs to threaten commander damage. Use Voltron swings to chip in damage while holding removal and counters to keep your board safe. If Sygg is answered too many times, begin leaning into your tribal go wide plan. Starting up the late game, push for commander damage kills. Double strike and plus Blackblade Reforged can end games in 1 swing. Duelist's Heritage can give you lethal combat math out of nowhere. Use Raise the Palisade or Supreme Verdict to reset if someone pulls ahead. Then rebuild faster than your opponents. If the table is wipe heavy, you're going to want to play slower and protect Sygg for 1 big lethal turn. If one opponent is ahead, use your removal and Duelist's Heritage to politically redirect pressure. If Sygg is removed multiple times, go wide with Merfolk Tribal. Overall, always keep mana up for Sygg's protection ability because he's much harder to remove that way. Use that Duelist's Heritage and other counterspells to make deals and influence the table, and prioritize your card draw engines such as Mask of Memory or Reconnaissance Mission. They keep you from running out of gas. This deck wins by picking its moment. Be patient, use your interaction carefully, and wait until Sygg is well protected before committing to lethal commander damage. Let's go over some of the equipment that we have in this deck. We have a total of 15. Starting off, we have Golem Skin Gauntlets for 1. Equipped creature gets +1/+0 for each equipment attached to it, and it equips for 2. Next up, we have Prying Blade. It buffs up Sygg, and it gives us treasure tokens whenever it deals combat damage to a player. Equips for 2 as well. We also have Shadow Spear. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 and has Trample and Lifelink, all for 1 and equips for 2. Also gets rid of Hexproof and Indestructible for our opponents. Blackblade Reforged. 2 mana, equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each land you control. Absolutely amazing for Sygg. Imperial Plate is next for 2. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each card in your hand and equips for 2. This one is amazing even if you just have 3 cards in your hand. Sword of the Animist for 2. This one buffs up Sygg as well as getting us a land onto the battlefield tapped for that ramp. Mask of Memory is one of the better card draw engines in the deck. Goggles of Night is fantastic because it gives us card advantage and card draw. Sword of the Realms is fantastic for its cost. Gives Sygg vigilance and gives us a way to recur our Fish Boy. Sigil of Valor is great for whenever we have more Merfolk on the battlefield, and it's got a low cost for equip. Trailblazer's Boots is great for whenever you're going up against a deck that doesn't have islands. Though Sword of Forge and Frontier is a little bit higher on the cost for this deck, it has a fantastic effect in giving us more card advantage as well as ramp. Pen and Blade is expensive, it does give you a huge boost in power in this deck. Grafted Exoskeleton can absolutely win you a game by itself. Giving this commander damage threat access to infect is just criminal. Brass Knuckles is another way to give our commander double strike, and it absolutely can win the game. Moving on to our mana rocks, we're running Soul Ring, Marble Diamond, Sky Diamond, Talisman of Progress, Heraldic Banner, Inherited Envelope, and Commander Sphere. As for our last artifact, we're running Vanquisher's Banner, which gives us a buff to Sygg and card draw whenever we cast other merfolk. As for enchantments, we're running Flowering of the White Tree, Staggering Insight, Deep-Root Waters, Duelist's Heritage, which is our best card in our deck, Reconnaissance Mission, Bident of Thassa, and Reflections of Litjara. As for creatures, we're running 14, starting with Weathered Wayfarer, Tidal Warrior, Harbinger of the Tides, Master of the Pearl Trident, Voldian Hexcatcher, Pure Steel Paladin, Stony Brook Banneret, Steambed Aquatics, Scroll Thief, Emery Lurker of the Loch, Merfolk Sovereign, Marrow Regere, True Name Nemesis, and Stony Brook Schoolmaster. This deck is running quite a few instants, including Slip Out the Back, Opt, Swan Song, Swords to Plowshares, Disenchant, Resculpt, Counterspell, Reprieve, Negate, Wizard's Retort, Leadership Vacuum, Generous Gift, and Mystic Confluence. And lastly, for sorceries, we're only running 6. Aquatics Will, Preordain, Raven Form, Dusk, Supreme Verdict, and Raise the Palisade. As for lands, we're running Evolving Wilds, Tranquil Cove, Glacial Fortress, Myriad Landscape, Adarkar Wastes, Rivendell, Command Tower, Azorius Chancery, Prairie Stream, Path of Ancestry, Deserted Beach, Minas Tirith, Sea of Clouds, and Port Town. Finally, to round out the deck, we have 13 islands and 9 plains. That does it for the Sygg deck. Let me know what you guys think, and I might do a video about potential upgrades that I can see making in the future. Thanks for watching.